Hello and welcome back to the MyWitchAngel channel. I'm so happy you're here. You made it. Now, if you saw the title, you already know what it is, maybe, because this is the part 2 of this reading, all right? So as you saw, we're going to be getting into your story, told into fairy tale style, of course. Now, if you do not find, yourself resonating with any of the 4 beings mentioned in this video, then go ahead to the description box and I will put there a link for you to see the part 1. And there you may find the being that more aligns with who you are for your story, okay? Now for this reading, we are going to go for the beings, angels, magi, fairies, and dragons, okay? Because, we're not doing a vibe check today, so go ahead and choose one of those creatures. I will have the timestamps for you down below or in the comment section, and I will see you in your reading, okay? Bye-bye! Hello angels, and I hope you are well. Welcome to your section of the reading. Alright, so just since we're not doing a vibe check, I did want to have, just a little description of angels, and we're also going to get one of the Star Codes Astral Oracle cards for the beginning of your story. And that way, with the description as well as the card, you'll be able to better determine if this truly is your group, okay? So let's get started. Angels. They are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. That's from Hebrews 1:14. There are different types of angels. But usually they all answer prayers, protect spirits or souls. They are instruments of judgment and great power. All that they do is in accordance with the divine plan. Okay, so that is the, small basic description of angel. If you are sure already, then hey, welcome to your story. But if you still would like a little bit more confirmation, then stick around for the beginning chapters, okay? Let's get the first card. Oh goodness. First 2 cards? Okay. All right. Well, I guess I should mention birds and feathers are also a great, symbol for angels as well. So first up, we have square or semi-square conjunct tension, number 54. And then we also have Juno partnership, number 31. Also, 444 is the angel number or angel number sequence. Bless. But before we begin, we gotta stick with our traditions, y'all. Grab a drink or a snack because cheers to you and the angels. Okay. And also before we begin, we are going to get the main chapters and overarching ideas with the Star Codes Astral Oracle, but we'll be using the Fairy Tale Tarot deck as well to get also, any other information about your life or the characters therein. So, in true fairy tale fashion, we will begin with Once Upon a Time. This angel either knew or didn't know their true identity as a young one. There had been signs and innate emotions and feelings, instinct of their true origins, of their true path. There were those sent to them in their life as a young one to help them cultivate a beauty and meaning of themselves and of the world around them. They had to learn to understand that though they were separate from the world around them, they still were meant to be there, meant to love and nurture it all, as well as understand that they were a part of it, though they were somewhat separate. Others might have tried to destroy this angel, either physically, mentally, emotionally. For others were afraid of recognizing higher powers within their lives. They did not want to let go of their own sovereignty, to have another being among them, born higher than them, with more understanding, with more wisdom, with more love. Yet, in face, looked just like them. They could not handle this within their life, so they had to attack it, because that for them was their assurance that this angel wasn't what they appeared to be. This angel was born with infinity for light, an affinity for being in the sun. The sun, light, charged them. They might have had an innate wonder of the stars around them, of the constellations, of the many different cycles on this planet and the different forces that encouraged those cycles, for they knew they were a part of that influence. From a young age, this angel wanted to offer their true intentions of love and affection for every single thing around them. They had a deep appreciation for life, for breathing, for nature, for animals. They loved it all. It feared them how much they cared and loved all. So many might have told them that they were meant for greatness. They were meant for amazing things. And they believed this. They knew that was true. However, they weren't sure how that was meant to come about into fruition. Would what they choose be against the rules? But this young angel was not even sure at the moment what those rules were. This angel did try to live as, a normal human. They tried to blend in. They tried to speak like other humans, act like other humans, have the same goals, same type of humor as other humans. They tried very well. They tried. Some succeeded and were able to be seen as just normal. Some couldn't succeed in this. Let's continue to the next few chapters. We have the 4th house, home, number 42. And we also have the 3rd house, communication, number 41. The 3rd house is ruled by Gemini, the 4th by Cancer. Also, can I say there's all these 4s? Hey, angels. Okay. I'm actually kind of feeling just one more. Leo. Number 5, also the 5th house. This angel had begun to take up strength with every single encounter they had in their life, whether it be from others in opposition. They believed and started to exercise their power, exercise their voice. They had learned that loving others and giving others choice and space and freedom to exist did not mean they had the freedom to diminish who they were. And they also learned that using their power, their influence, their voice was meant for others to learn from them. They weren't being the boss of others, they were instructing. And they knew that this instruction was necessary because at the end, in the end, it was because they cared. And it was in their caring that they found strength. They found strength to connect with others, be brave enough to connect with others, and be themselves. Speak up when they encountered people who even might have tried to diminish them at the moment, tried to belittle them. They saw the inner workings. They began to see the inner workings of every soul around them. This angel's abilities grew. They began to awaken the inner strength between every single person that they interacted with. Their presence, their voice was an instrument for this. This angel began to believe and see how they are connected to higher powers, to a higher power. They started to believe and understand how they were a higher power within themselves and learn how to cultivate their gifts and their purpose to assist all around them, all humanity even. Though they knew this was a gargantuan challenge, they knew that they were up for the task. They began to, as they grew, get even more messages from the spiritual realms, from spirit teams, from other spiritual beings. They understood the power of 7 and what that meant for their lives. The divine number and the divine plan. They saw how they were a cog in this divine machine, necessary and vital for this entire machine of life and experience to work. They had to figure out what they were going to do in this mortal life to drive forward and create the divine fates for themselves and for others. They saw that if they held lack of faith, if they did not believe in themselves, things did not turn out the way they wanted. They started to see the manifestation power within their own force of will, even if they spoke nothing. They had to learn that their faith did in fact move mountains. They had to learn that if they wanted something to come to fruition, they had to believe it so. And so it was. And so it was. We have the first house, Aries. as well as the 8th house, mystery. The angel understood that they could not write the divine plan, for it was not their role. But they understood that having faith and loving the divine plan was more than enough. They understood that they had to trust themselves, for that they now learned and understood that since they themselves were a divine being, what they wanted intrinsically was already programmed and coded to work along the divine plan. Some were very adept at learning what this plan was. Some were adept at even tweaking their own life so that though they could still work and walk along the divine plan, they were still able to find fruition and happiness within their own life. They learned the powers of manifestation. Cheers. Some had encountered divine teachers, whether they were other tarot readers, other spiritual leaders, random prayer warriors. They encountered and learned. The more they grew, the more their faith grew, the less detriment they had within their own mind. They knew that though they could not have power and dominion over every single thing, they knew that was not their role, and they were okay with this. They released and loved it all. They loved that they were held and taken care of within their entire life, so long as they believed it so. They knew that they were not forsaken, and that what they wanted in life would come to them in due time. They had to learn not to rush this. For everything that they wanted would come, so long as they continued walking along the divine plan, continued discovering what that plan was, and they would have everything they needed. Everything they needed. And it would not go anywhere. What they would receive would stay with them for a lifetime. For a lifetime. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a little pause on your story here. We might do another one like this in, I don't know, maybe a few months to update your story. But let's go ahead and end this reading off with a few of our Moonology Oracle cards. We have Disseminating Moon. Take time to breathe out. We have a new start is coming with the new moon. We have the new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. Okay. And at the bottom we have expect powerful change with the new moon eclipse. So I think you guys get the message and how it applies to your life here. So let's go ahead and pause the reading here. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I sure did. I know it might seem a little silly or, kiddish, but hey, why not have some fun with, fairy tales and things like that, and magic and crap. So thank you for being here and allowing me to share in this experience with you. And if you have been here for so long already and haven't, please consider subscribing and joining us. We would love to have you here, being part of the army, part of the magic. And with that, I hope to see you in our next reading, okay? Bye-bye. Hello, Magi, and welcome to your section of today's reading. So, since we are not doing a vibe check as usual, we're going to go ahead and start off with a good description of Magi, and then we're also going to pull one card from the Star Codes Astral Oracle to get the beginning of your story. And that way you can pair this description with the first card just to be sure to make sure that you have chosen the right group, okay? So let's begin. Magi. Magi are those who practice magic, usually derived from supernatural, occult, or arcane sources. They can also be referred to as magicians, wizards, witches, sorcerers, enchanters, enchantresses, and more. Their practices can influence people, events, and even nature itself. Ooh, all right. So let's go ahead and pull the first card. Okay. For the beginning of your story. Gonna put this up right. But y'all know we gotta stick with our tradition, guys. Grab a drink or a snack. We gotta cheers to the magic. Okay. So, in true fairy tale fashion, we will begin with Once Upon a Time. This person always had an undying determination from within their soul. It was a type of fire that could not be put out by anyone. They knew from a young age, no matter who they were, that they could attain anything that they set their mind on. They knew that they were unstoppable. They found themselves in positions of always encouraging others, leading the charge, enforcing greatness, justice, and the truth. They might have been out of practice for this at the beginning, but they always had great intentions for themselves and for others. They saw themselves as materials, objects, instruments to deliver divine judgment. When they saw injustice occur within their life, there were times where they felt powerless to change anything, to do anything. But still there was this inner fire within them that they could not let go of. That they must do something, say something, change something for balance to be restored within their life, within the life of others. This person could at times find themselves even fighting for others when the situation had nothing to do with them in the first place. They took power, even at a young age, this young magi, in changing circumstances for the better. They were the instrument. or are not afraid of this. Strength. When they saw even those older, more experienced than them break down, they were the ones to provide strength. They were the ones to provide a shoulder to lean on, even when they were younger, even if they were younger in the situation, smaller. They were the ones to provide powerful words. And at that young age, they understood that their words held power. Others listened and believed them. This could have made them nervous, a little scared at first, but they knew that they could not let this go. Let's continue to the next chapters. Wow. We have dignified, strength, in reverse. You received Jupiter, abundance, and South Node, past. Their journey in discovering their power might have been a rocky one. They might have tried here and there their tricks to practice their magic, to enforce their influence, and sometimes it worked amazingly, and other times it went to nowhere. But they didn't give up and saw the humor within it all. Sometimes they might have felt silly when practicing magic and magic words or certain, I don't know, shrines or candles. It might have not have worked all the time, but they still continued. They still stepped forward. They couldn't give up. They knew they shouldn't, for it worked. There were times it worked. It worked. They became somewhat like a scientist, taking their practice seriously, studying what actually worked with them. What materials did they use? How did they use them? How could they bring this forward to create changes that would come into fruition? Abundance, not only for them, but for even others around them. They had to study for a while, for a long time. They might have even had to encounter outside sources to help them influence their own magic practice, whether that have been science, biology, humanitarian practices, cooking even. They had to learn even mundane ways of doing chores. Sweeping was a practice even. They learned that it can be simple, but they could make it as complex as they wanted, so much as they held true intention. Six of Wands. And the more they practiced, the stronger they became. The more they worked, the more success they had found. They learned to take their practice seriously. And they did not let others stop them. They did not let others' beliefs stop them. Even programmed beliefs within their own lives. They learned not to let that stop them. They were the defining force. They were the ones who set the rules. They are the ones who held the power. And it was fun. we have, for your next few chapters, conjunction, alliance, descendant, invitation, and we have Venus, beloved, in reverse. The more they grew, the more they actually found others like them, others who had similar experiences, others who helped them practice their magic. They might have even found a group, a flock of believers just like them, of power just like them. And some learned that through working together, they were able to influence change bigger than they ever could have done on their own. This was done many ways. Through trance, through prayers, through dances, through music, through even the sipping of wine. They understood that when they were with and are with their community, the more they could influence change beyond their wildest dreams, more than they could have imagined. They have begun to create groups, influences for the good that even other mortals could understand, whether that be trans rights, women's rights, voices for homeless. They sought out true material abundance for the world around them. They saw how they could use their magic, their influence, to really create change wherever it was needed. And that was their love. They invite all. This Magi learned not to exclude the world, but include the world. Their heart became open to all. They learned that they can transmute negative energies into positive ones with all, through all. One-on-one discussions, games, art. They sought out transmutation of beauty and joy and acceptance for all. Everyone. For the entire world. Though they might not have known it and may not know it at the time, their influence will affect the entire world. Their metronome is a beat that reverberates throughout the entire world. Their small influence, no matter how small, is a connection, a web, from that one small place to the rest of the universe. The person that they spoke to about kindness towards the earth told their children at school told their teacher, and their teacher began a project of a garden for the school. That garden, seen by many, the mother crying saw the garden, took a flower for herself, and began creating beauty in her own life. This magician might not even know, they might have no idea how far their influences reach. No idea. Ways that they not have even planned yet, things that have not even set into motion, they have begun this. It will grow. What they set their sights into will grow. The more they practice their magic, magic for things that they truly believe in, it will grow. Magicians must understand the way of plants, the lesson of the stem. What would nourish the root of their magic? How must it cultivate and grow? What place must this magic truly be in to grow to its fullest potential? A lily planted in sand will not do as well as a lily planted in the soil. However, a cactus will thrive in sand and, do pretty well in soil. But the lesson here is that you, dear magician, must learn to give yourself enough care, love, and attention to bring yourself into environments and use materials that truly attune to who you are. Your wand may not be a stick or a rod. Your wand might be a bell. Your wand might be a tuning fork. Your wand might be your very own finger. But you must choose places, environments, and people around you for your inner emotions and aspirations to express outwardly and continue expressing forward. For other people to take on the vibration that you are expressing and they can amplify it. Be bold in learning this. Be bold in sharing this with people who you may believe could help you, because you never know what wisdom others might carry on your journey. And at the bottom we have our 8 of Wands here. It could all be yours for the taking. Choose the right path and it will be there. Let's get the final few chapters here. Okay. We have here 4th house. So, when it comes to your magic practice, the elements around you will affect you. There must be a small study of the moon and its phases. Some here are in this chapter of not wanting to practice and study more, but there must be study. You must study elements, use the periodic table, use your chemistry to see how what you use affects other things on the material plane and therefore resonates into the spiritual plane. The world around you, the world around you will affect you and your practice. So you must take the initiative to know about every facet of what you are doing and how it will come to be, how you would like it to be. And do not be afraid of outreach. Do not be afraid of learning from others. Do not be afraid of telling the truth of who you are to those who you think could help you, because they will help you. At the bottom we have the 4 of Wands. And so it is written. So mote it be. Okay, let's go ahead and pause our story here, and we're gonna get a few of our Moonology oracle cards to end off your reading, okay? Let's see. Take time to breathe out. Your body is very important in your practice. Pay attention to how you feel. To the chills, to the goosebumps, to the heartbeats. You have gibbous moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. Let's get one more. We have the waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. All right, and at the bottom, we have the new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. All right, so let's go ahead and end our reading here. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I sure did. I know it might seem a little silly or, you know, kiddish, but hey, why not have some fun with, you know, fairy tales and things like that, and magic and crap. So thank you for being here and allowing me to share in this experience with you. And if you have been here for so long already and haven't, please consider subscribing and joining us. We would love to have you here, being part of the army, part of the magic. And with that, I hope to see you in our next reading, okay? Bye-bye. Hello, my dear fae folk of all kinds, okay? Now, since we are not doing a vibe check as per the usual, we're gonna go ahead and start off with a description of fae and fae folk. And then we're going to pull a card from our Astral Oracle deck. And with that description here and the beginning of your story, you'll be better able to determine if this truly is your group, okay? So here we are. Oh, here you can stare at this while I read off the description. Fae. They are magical beings of enchantments and illusions. They are nature spirits traced back to multiple sources across centuries. Though their purposes vary widely, and origins as well, they almost always have abilities to protect and assist nature and all the creatures within. Okay. So, let's go ahead and pull one card from our Astral Oracle for the beginning. All right, well here. We have Solar Flares activate, and then the card that shot out was Aries Act number 1, the beginning. That's fitting, isn't it? But before we begin your story, let's go ahead and grab your drink or your snack, y'all. It's our tradition. Cheers to the fae. Okay. You know, I feel also compelled to ring this for you. I don't know why. That's my blessing bell, but anyway. Maybe you need some more magic or blessings in your life, eh? They're coming. We got you. Well, without further ado, let's begin in true fairy tale fashion with Once Upon a Time. This little fairy might have felt randomly one day that they just appeared on this planet, in their situation, in the family that they were in the environment that surrounded them. It was random, like a lightning strike, that they suddenly felt and understood that they were not exactly from and part of the place and the people around them. It was as if they woke up from a dream while being awake, and then they really saw the reality around them. They saw themselves. It was as if spiritual or magical forces stopped them in their tracks with the mirror, and they didn't see themselves as the original form, or human form you could say, but the fake person they were within. It was jarring, shocking even, unbelievable, crazy. It could not have been this way. But everything had changed in that moment. Nothing could stay the same. They saw their hands differently, their feet differently, their face. It had all changed. Or they saw it as a part of themselves, but also separate. Oh, I didn't explain. We're gonna use the fairy tale deck to get more detail and information from these chapters, as well as other characters we might encounter. The sun, yeah. Honestly, it was like sudden illumination, and they felt that it was right. They knew it was right. They could not believe it, but they knew it was correct. Now things were on the right path. Now things were aligned. Now they knew that they were walking in the right direction. They discovered a sense of self. This young fairy, this young troll, this young dryad. Fairies come in so many shapes and forms, and they started to believe in that magic on these creatures, for they were one of them. They were one of them. But it was crazy. Yeah, Knight of Wands in reverse. It was crazy. They couldn't believe this. They couldn't take this seriously. It couldn't be real, but it was. Their entire life had changed in a moment, and here they were. Things were the same, but all different. What were they supposed to do? What were they supposed to do? Knight of Pentacles in reverse. They were stuck. This young fae, they were stuck. All this realization, all of this power, all of this strength and belief and happiness and joy that they began to feel, and they couldn't go anywhere. They were stuck. What could they do? Let's get one more of these cards. Page of Cups. It began, what they could do was spreading just a tiny bit of magic. Let's see how that goes with the next few chapters. They took strength with the new version of who they were, the fully realized version of who they were on the inside. And they knew it was small, but they were like, okay, if I am to be this being, to live this way, then maybe I should take a chance. Maybe I should offer small acts of kindness, tokens, gifts. This fae might have found that they were actually quite adept at finding lost things, or seeing where others around them could have fallen or tripped over something or had a misunderstanding. And so this fae took it upon themselves to step in They moved the cord before something could happen. They told someone the truth before a misunderstanding could arise. They gave a crayon or a marker or a snack to someone who was on the brink of despair. This fairy began their magic. They saw that that was their magic. And they knew there was more. We have the Page of Swords. Yeah. They knew there was more, and so they just practiced more. They did more. They said more. And they studied more, actually. They watched more of the Fae type of movies. They paid attention to the otherworldly creatures in dramas, books, wherever they could see. They saw how they acted. They saw family. And they let it ponder within their head to see how they were meant to be and act within their own life. They couldn't believe everything they saw, for it was a lot of product of human imagination, but they saw that there was truth within what they were studying. And so began their journey of balance, to help bring balance amongst the world, between people and nature around them, between others around them and themselves. Good on you, little fairy. Let's continue. And so as the fairy grew, they unknowingly stepped through different portals in life. What? Okay, well, here's the card. They unknowingly traversed different timelines, though it might have seemed normal to them. It was everyday life for this Fae person. They stepped into a timeline where their family found a cat on the street, took care of it, and then lived. They stepped into a timeline where they passed the cat on the street and didn't take it in. They passed timelines and experienced timelines where they encountered great sickness, and they encountered timelines where they didn't. This fairy grew to see the different cycles of life and see how they could step into different parts of it, take different choices and actions to move themselves into a timeline that they better wanted, that they felt better fit them. Wow, very, very interesting. Five of Wands. However, they did encounter consequences. When they had stepped throughout these timelines, they found they could not have a perfect life from doing this. They found that though they did try to avoid trials and obstacles, they found them anyway. But though they didn't feel that they were meant to encounter these obstacles and make a change for the better, they took it upon themselves, this mission, to bring light and joy and happiness into the situation. Yeah, Eight of Wands. And strength in reverse. They could have been in a situation, an area, where they were minding their own fairy business, thinking about berries or plants or water, but they felt within their environment and saw that someone might have needed their help. Maybe someone was crying, or someone was struggling with something. So they took it upon themselves to enter that person's reality, that person's experience, and offer, if the person would like, their assistance. They'd offered a friend, they'd offer their time, they'd offer a gift, whatever they could give, whatever tiny thing they could give to the people around them, to the people in need. They took it upon themselves to place themselves in that situation. And so they found more fortune brought onto them. This fairy understood the laws of justice. They saw that they could try to avoid problems and obstacles and challenges, but when they encountered them, they found that if done right, if they did well, they were somehow rewarded. Let's continue. We have Libra here. Balance. And so this fairy sought to attain balance within their own life. This is a very grown-up energy. I feel like there's one more of these. Maybe just one more. Fifth house, passion. This fairy, they began to have faith in influencing their own life. There were still times where they saw they could change timelines, but they had gained enough strength on their own and within themselves to continue on a particular timeline, but look, bring beauty to that, to trust themselves and challenge their skills, to influence the current timeline that they were on instead of moving out of it. They took challenges head on and created so much peace for others and themselves. They had learned lessons that other people had come to them for, even if they did not ask for this. They had begun to attract people who were in situations they had dealt with or they understood very well. And so they brought their own objective experience to these people to allow those people to grow. Ten of Cups. And so brought out this fairy's belief in attaining anything that could make them happy. Anything they wanted. Their true happily ever after. A safe place to live. A family that loved and cherished them, believed in them, and shared with them the beauty of life, of experience, of fun, and happiness. Okay, let's go ahead and pause that story here, for of course your story is not over. And let's go ahead and pull a card from my Moonology Oracle cards. And we will end your reading there, okay? Let's see. I say card, I think I mean a few cards. Work through your fears. I think every single, at least 3 out of these groups got this card. Oh my god. Anyway, I think that's a collective energy, huh? Working through fears. Full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. Dream big, dear Faye. But have a plan. Have a plan. Let's see the last one. We have the waxing crescent moon. Have faith in your dreams. Oh, isn't that fitting? Okay. Well, I think you guys get the message. Here at the bottom we have hold your visions with the fixed moon. So, let's go ahead and pause the reading, or stop the reading here. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I sure did. I know it might seem a little silly or, you know, kiddish, but hey, why not have some fun with, you know, fairy tales and things like that, and magic and crap. So thank you for being here and allowing me to share in this experience with you. And if you have been here for so long already and haven't, please consider subscribing and joining us. We would love to have you here, being part of the army, part of the magic. And with that, I hope to see you in our next reading, okay? Bye-bye. Hello, my dragons, and welcome to your section of today's reading. So, since we are not doing a vibe check per the usual, I do have a description of dragons, and we're also going to pull a Star Codes Astral Oracle card to get the beginning of your story. And that way, with this description and that card, you will be able to better determine that this is your group, okay? Just to be sure. So, you can stare at this while I read off the description. Here we are. Dragons. They are creatures perceived as both ethereal and ferocious. They are embodiments of nature personified. They are not the wind, but the blizzard. Not the wave, but the flood. Creatures of great magic and wisdom, they have an eye for earthly beauty, for they are spirits of the earth themselves. Due to their raw divine power, surviving one gets you remembered for a lifetime. Defeating one gets you remembered for generations. Unstoppable forces of nature. By the way, I also felt, you know, energies of the phoenix, or phoenix energy. So if you don't fully identify with dragon, then phoenix might be you. And you're still welcome here in this group, okay? I think this is going to be the best group for you. So let's go ahead and get a card for the beginning of your story. Wow. We have Mercury, Messenger. Hold on. Let me change the lighting because I feel like we can't really see at the moment. Oop. Okay, I hope that's better. Alright, and also kind of just say, like, this is the most dragonistic card I have in my whole Star Codes Astral Oracle deck. Anyway, let's put this here. And before we begin, you know, we gotta hold on to our traditions. Guys, grab your drink. Cheers to the dragons. Alright. So, in true fairy tale fashion, we will begin with Once Upon a Time. This little dragon might have been quite the prankster, trickster, or jokester within their life. They took it upon themselves to shake things up if things got a little boring or mundane. Those around them saw them as unpredictable. They didn't know what would come next with this little dragon. This dragon was seen as both innocent and naughty, as both intelligent and maybe a little slow. This dragon believed that they could present themselves and be however they wanted in their life, and it was their choice. They were the boss of themselves. Sometimes they would listen to others. They could be the teacher's pet, and at other times they rebelled. They sprayed the graffiti on the walls. And sometimes they were caught. But through it all, the dragon really had no purely dark or evil intentions. They just believed that life could be whatever they wanted it to be. So unattainable. This little dragon, other people could not quite put their finger on who or what this little dragon was. They didn't know. They couldn't make sense of the presentation this dragon gave to them. They changed so much, but yet were so strong and so sure of who they were. This dragon knew of destiny, but they didn't believe, or maybe even agree, that they had to work or live along the lines of destiny. They either wanted to create their own destiny or dispel the entire belief of destiny entirely. Others might have told them they were meant for any A, B, or C, meant for anything. But the dragon was like, why do I have to be meant for something? I can just live. Can't I just live? Can't I just experience life the way I want it to be? But this mortal realm, the plane where we currently live in, required them to make a choice, to choose a path and walk along it. But they were not adept. They were not good at that. They were just good at being themselves. What could they do? What were they supposed to do? They didn't want to listen to others, but they couldn't even tell themselves what they wanted. It was a very tricky time for this young dragon. Very tricky time indeed. Let's get one more. This dragon saw that they could... They were talented. They kind of maybe felt too talented sometimes in so many different things. They could be an amazing hairdresser. They could be an artist. They could be an accountant. They could be a teacher. They could do anything. They had too many interests, and they were good at what they were interested in. And so those who told them to choose one, they couldn't really hold on to it. Look at you. They couldn't choose. It was so hard. They might have taken all these different personality tests or quizzes, career quizzes, and they could have different answers all the time. And if they did have an answer, they might have wanted to change it. Could they just choose that one? Did they have to be that one thing? And why? Why be that one thing? This little dragon's childhood was actually very impactful for them, very important to them. Almost like their home meant so much to them. Their family, their environment, they did not want to leave. They didn't want to try anything new. They just wanted to stay in that bubble. They wanted to stay in that circle. Let's begin the next few chapters. We have Pluto reverse. Upright, it looks like this, and it says rebirth. This dragon didn't want to take the responsibility of going up a lot of the time. They didn't want to make the hard choices. They'd rather just live. They just wanted to live and breathe and just be. They didn't want to have to make a choice. They didn't want to really work on themselves or look at themselves. For doing this, they would see raw power without direction, without shape. But they knew that they are the ones who are meant to give shape to that power, to that form. That's created themselves. How could they do this though? They needed help. They needed someone else to tell the truth. They needed someone who had known them for a long time, seen them grow, helped them grow even, to give them direction of what to do. What could they be good in? Yeah. Someone they trusted and knew for a while. Someone who could see their inner energies, their inner soul. For they could barely even see that, or if they did see that, they didn't know what to make of it. What were they supposed to do? This person helped them. They needed this person to help them. And so they did. This person told them, one, that they loved them and wanted the very best for them. They're free to take their advice or choose something else, or even listen to other people. The person told them to take a step, take a chance, try something, see if it works out for you. You have these options, pick one, and if it does not work out, pick the next one. And if that doesn't work out, pick the next one. And this little dragon learned that choosing different things was not failure, but progress. They learned what stuck with them over time. They learned what truly actually meant something to them and made them happy. For they could have been talented in many things, but they learned that only a few of those things actually made them feel like it was worth it. This person helped them unlock their abilities. This person helped them to look at themselves and see how far they could go and not be afraid of that. This person made the dragon look inwards and grow, fight their own demons, their own shadows, and defeat them. Work with them. Continue forward out of the cave of their own hibernation, of their own making, of their own fears. But this person made the dragon feel and know that they were the light. Let's continue. first rebirth, and then we have the past, South Node. So much regression for this dragon. For that regression helped them to gain wisdom. Helped them to learn and see that they had, in fact, grown. That they have gone through and learned so much. They had fought so much. They had survived so much. That they had learned so many different lessons from so many different people. And that stuck with them. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. They had it all within them. And it took them taking time, this dragon, to see which of those lessons really stuck with them and helped influence them to grow into who they were. For at first, they saw themselves that nothing affected them, nothing influenced them. But that wasn't true. The outside world did affect them, and they did care. They cared. And so, they learned to trust a few of those in the outside world. They found their community, or a few good members of that community. And it was so great. In fact, when they did find these members of the community, they did not know how much they would assist and bring joy and happiness to this dragon. Or perhaps they were closed off before, but when they opened up their heart, they found a new home, a bigger home, home in others. They saw that home wasn't the place where they began, but wherever they chose to be, wherever they wanted to be. They could put up roots anywhere they wanted, and they would be successful, and it would be fun. They would have fun. Let's get the last few chapters here. And we have Taurus, cultivate. And so, this dragon, goodness, I was at the bottom of the deck. This dragon learned that in order to continue cultivating their belief in themselves, their skills, they had to continue working on themselves. They had to continue growing. They had to continue working on their anxieties, their depressions, their fears, anything that held them back. They learned that it was a continuous battle, but a battle they would continue to find beauty in. Though they might stumble sometimes, this dragon continues getting up, continuing forward like a phoenix. And every time they got up, continued forward, it was 2 steps forward. 1 step forward, no, 1 step backward and 2 steps forward. 1 step backward, 3 steps forward. They learn their power and then coming back. They got stronger. Every time. Their power will continue to grow. It is not finished. Okay. Let's go ahead and pause that there. We're going to end off your reading with a couple or a few of the Moonology Oracle cards, okay? Let's see. We have new moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. This dragon had done some heart healing. Maybe they had their heart broken in the past. But with their healing, this begins. We have the balsamic moon. It's a time for healing. Oh my gosh, sorry. I just saw that. Whoa. Okay. And we'll be continuing this healing. It will continue. It is not finished, but will continue. But so will your power. Your power lies within your healing. And we have the full moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. Okay. And at the bottom, we have the full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. So I think y'all got the message. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause our reading here. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I sure did. I know it might seem a little silly or, you know, kiddish, but hey, why not have some fun with, you know, fairy tales and things like that, and magic and crap. So thank you for being here and allowing me to share in this experience with you. And if you have been here for so long already and haven't, please consider subscribing and joining us. We would love to have you here, being part of the army, part of the magic. And with that, I hope to see you in our next reading, okay? Bye-bye.